this little guy has conquered the world. You see Labubu everywhere on your TikTok feed and Instagram feed. The company that produces it, Pop Mart, literally blew up and made its owner a billionaire almost overnight. Pop Mart has been around for a couple of years, but it's only end of April this year it really became famous. Mostly because of the celebrity endorsements from Rihanna, from Lisa, Blackpink, etc. It became a fad, a thing. So why is it so hard to get yourself a Labubu and how to actually do it? I'm going to give you some tips and explain how this whole thing works. So when it comes to physical stores, uh, in my personal store, American Dream, that's next to me, you can't really buy Labubus anymore because they are either out of stock or they're not sold because people get too crazy and too aggressive standing in lines. And even if you arrange yourself a store pickup using the website, it's extremely difficult. You have to show up really early, and generally people camp out in the morning outside of the store. They get tickets to get in line, and it also gets very, very tricky. Some places have vending machines, but those also get emptied very fast or they are difficult to get to. A lot of people drive for hours to get a Labubu. Another problem with Labubus is the amount of fakes that are out there. Whenever you're buying not from Pop Mart, you are always questioning whether it's going to be a real Labubu. That's another problem. And it's natural that the natural solution to this is to get on Pop Mart website, but it's trickier than ever. There are very limited time slots where drops are actually happening. There are tons of bots, and it's difficult. You can either buy a Labubu just adding a blind box to your cart, or you can participate in Pop Now game. The benefit of Pop Now game is that once you reserve the box, you get a hint which two options out of six Labubu is not. So you can make a good guess about the color if you're targeting a specific one. Or you can also, uh, once you check out, you are able to see what's actually in the box. So you can readjust your strategy and see if you got a dupe. You can gift it or plan your stuff accordingly. The thing is, it's extremely difficult to check out through regular blind box checkout because of the bots. You usually get a lot of errors like high order volume, etc. And on Pop Now, you have to flip through hundreds of boxes before you actually get to the ones that are available. And they get reserved almost immediately. And a lot of them are very robotic and very bot-like. So there's a huge hunt for Labubus. There's also a psychological aspect. Labubus are not always available. There's a limit of drops every day. The schedule of drops sometimes is predictable, sometimes not. It's actually better when it's not predictable because it means there will be fewer bots on the platform at a specific time. Also, it looks like Pop Mart is running out of production capabilities. They can't fulfill all those crazy orders. I want to remind you that Labubus and other Pop Mart toys, especially this vinyl face part, I want you to see it. It is handmade. It is painted by hand. It is produced by skillful masters that know what they're doing with the toy, and it's pretty high quality. I would say that even $27 is a little pricey for this guy, but the resale prices go up to $80 and up to $800 for a secret. So the thing is, apart from limited stock that is already a little addictive in a world where we can get a lot of things, we can order a lot of things to our doorstep, we're told, okay, you can't have this. And on top of that, out of six options in the collection. You might be hunting for a specific color, and you can do the blind boxes, you can do pop now. You might still not get exactly the color that you want. That creates a lot of opportunities for resellers and for exchanging toys, for trading them online in huge Facebook groups and online on Reddit. So that's why it's important for you to understand your strategy before you start shopping for Labubu. It can take a lot of your time, especially in the evening EST hours, PST hours. You'll be busy almost every day trying to get at least something. So if you only have this one specific color that, let's say, your child wants for their birthday or something like that, I would recommend, if you value your time, to buy from resellers, trusted resellers, because it just saves you so much headache. Make sure you do your research. I'm going to leave some trusted reseller options in the comments, the links to them, but make sure you really do your research. There's a lot of scams, a lot of fakes going around. So be very attentive. Make sure the person has some kind of credibility, or they can show you the order screenshot or something to prove that this is the real deal. Also, you can cancel out your credit card payments if you're dealing with a Shopify store or something. So in case you were scammed and it's proven that the authenticity is off. So I'm going to do another video on authenticity, but let's talk about how to actually get the Labubu. Can probably research the URL method. It works for some Labubu collections and not for others. And it only works, let's say, within first 30 minutes of the drop, whether the initial wave of the drop or later. If you are really if you really want to have clarity on what you're getting, I would recommend focusing on Pop Now, because it gives you hints about what's inside the box, and it also allows you to, I wouldn't say it's a fun game. It's supposed to be fun when the boxes are available and you can actually search for options that, let's say, you're looking at what you don't want, definitely, and you're looking at the hints that you're getting from the box, what's inside. A lot of people got actually super addicted to Pop Now game, because they started getting just one Labubu, then they were like, oh, I want this specific color, and they started search for that specific color. And after that, they would, for example, try to get a secret. Secrets start at $150 per item, and it's a fair price because secret is only 1 in 72. The probability of getting it, it's much lower than any other item in the collection. So it's a good hunt, and some people really like that. Adults get addicted. I'm not even talking about kids. They get addicted to trying to find the secret, trying to fulfill their collection, trying to get items for their friend or their relative. So make sure you don't get addicted. But if you actually like this game, if you like the thrill of chasing this, secret items, I would definitely recommend trying out Pop Now for yourself. And you can try a URL method. You can try also some other ways. You can get on Reddit Labubu chat. You can get on Facebook groups and try resellers there. By the way, a lot of them offer swaps, trading, or some kind of lower price, because there's just individuals selling with relatively low shipping. However, be very careful. Beware of the scams that are happening every day. I would not recommend you to pay $10 for a box reserved for you or something like that sometimes people offer. And another thing is that you might want to keep an eye on the max amount of boxes that you order from a particular collection. Usually it's 6 boxes overall total per account. So you might want to create extra accounts if you're looking for more Labubus within the same collection. Another thing I wanted to say is that how to spot a fake Labubu. Well, some of the dead giveaways would be the face, the eyes. They should exactly match, the official images. They're super close. The ears are not very long, not very short. They're kind of in the middle of the head. Every Labubu now has this QR code that you can scan and authenticate that it's real from Pop Mart. I think there are a few older editions that don't actually have this QR code, but you have to re-verify with the seller that this is an older edition of Labubu. And another thing is just the hands. Make sure they're upwards and that they're kind of like located like this. The head of Labubu does rotate, as well as arms with a little effort, but they can rotate around. You can feel this like kind of plastic thing inside. The legs in this macaron one are straight. They don't rotate really. However, when it comes to have a seat collection, then you can actually place and seat Labubu's seated position is the default one, so you can't like straighten the legs after that. And the same is for Big Into Energy, the new collection that just arrived at the end of April. The legs are more so straight, and they have also slightly different approach to coloring to the eyes. They have glitter in the eyes and they have tie-dye coloring. So pay attention to that when you're shopping for these collections. I wanted to say that as thrilling as Labubu is, I think that items such as Skull Panda deserve just as much, if not even more attention. It's very cute pendant, and I actually personally think this collection is kind of more mature and better and more fancy and high fashion. I do have Labubus. I also have my Skull Pandas because they're cute. They're like little dolls and they're girlier options. So I know they're not as crazy popular, but they're kind of following Labubu trend. So check them out too, as well as Cry Baby, a cute toy that has like huge tears coming out of their eyes. Another collection that's worth looking at. In fact, there are so many other toys in Pop Mart, and everybody's obsessed with Labubu. This is it creates certain difficulties for the company, and it creates certain checkout difficulties and tons of technical problems for users trying to get the box every night. So good luck in your Labubu hunt, and I hope that you'll be happy, and you won't get any dupes that you don't want, and that whoever you're gifting Labubu to will be extremely pleased with this great gift. It's a little bit overhyped. Another strategy to get a Labubu is to just wait a little bit and you know get it later when the craze is a little over, but then it doesn't feel as on trend and as connected to pop culture. So depends on you what you value more, hanging out with Labubu today or hanging out with Labubu much later, but with less headaches. In fact, you might need to take that break naturally anyway because Pop Mart is running out of production capabilities. And yesterday they were accepting pre-orders a month ahead. They are going to ship the next portion of Labubus like July 28th, which is wild. They never did something like that. They usually ship them relatively fast, but it does take up to 2-3 weeks with the customs time to actually get your Labubus to your doorstep. So very tricky. A lot of people are kind of triggered by participating in this trend. So yeah, wishing you all the good luck, and please subscribe if you like this video and if you'd like to know more about Labubus and Pop Mart figurines and the art behind them and also some more strategies behind them. Thank you so much.